Welcome back to yet another episode of the xploreUXCast, where we help you make sense of your users or your customers. I'm your host, Obruke. In this episode, we are going to be talking about how do you balance creativity with data-driven decisions. It's a challenge that many designers, marketers, and product teams face. On one hand, creativity allows us to innovate, differentiate, and create memorable experiences. On the other hand, data offers clear insights into user behavior, preferences, and trends, ensuring that our decisions are backed by real-world evidence. How do we bring both together without one overshadowing the other? That's exactly what we'll be unpacking today. Often, creativity and data are seen as opposing forces. Creativity is fluid, imaginative, and experimental, whereas data is structured, analytical, and precise. This contrast can make it seem like they don't belong together, but in reality, they complement each other. Think about it this way. Imagine a product designer coming up with a new app interface. If they rely purely on creativity, they might design something visually stunning but difficult to navigate. On the other hand, if they focus only on data, they might create something highly functional but uninspiring. The best outcomes emerge when creativity fuels fresh ideas and data refines them to make them effective. This blend is important because creativity drives initial concepts, while data refines and validates them. But how do we strike that balance? Let's talk about using data as a guide without letting it limit creativity. One of the biggest fears creative professionals have about data is that it can restrict their ability to think outside the box. If every decision is purely based on numbers, there's a risk of producing work that feels formulaic. However, data doesn't have to be a roadblock, it can be a compass. For instance, in UX design, heat maps and session recordings can show where users struggle on a website. This data doesn't tell you how to solve the issue, but it highlights where creative problem solving is needed. Instead of limiting creativity, data provides a direction, allowing designers to experiment with solutions that both engage users and address pain points. The key is to see data as a tool rather than a rulebook. It can validate ideas, highlight patterns, and reduce guesswork, but it should never replace creative exploration. Now that we've looked at how data can guide creativity, let's consider the opposite. How creativity can shape the way we use data. Love xploreUXCast. Here's how you can make a difference. Be a UX champion. Chat with friends, family, and anyone who wants to learn about UX and usability testing. You can supercharge the show. Subscribe, rate, and review xploreUXCast on wherever you listen to podcasts. This helps others discover the good stuff and lets the platform know we're winning. Let's talk UX. Leave comments on the podcast or social media. Got a burning testing question or a topic you'd love to hear explored? Hit me up. And join the UX crew by signing up for our newsletter on LinkedIn and connect with fellow UX enthusiasts. See links in the description. Data on its own is just numbers and statistics. It's the way we interpret it that makes the difference. Two teams looking at the same data set can come to very different conclusions depending on the questions they ask and the creativity they bring to analysis. Let's say an e-commerce company notices that users abandon their carts at a high rate. One team might interpret this as a pricing issue and suggest discounts. Another might dig deeper and find that users hesitate because of unclear return policies. A creative approach to data doesn't just take numbers at face value, it asks why and explores different possibilities. Beyond analysis, creativity also plays a role in how insights are applied. If data shows that users prefer faster checkout processes, a creative solution might be introducing a one-click purchase option or a redesigned payment page that feels effortless. The way we use insights can be just as creative as the initial design process. Now that we've established the give and take between data and creativity, let's look at some practical strategies to maintain the balance. Balancing these two forces requires intentional effort. Here are some ways to integrate them without conflict. 1. Start with creativity, then validate with data. Begin with brainstorming and open-ended ideation. Let creative ideas flow without worrying about constraints. Once you have a range of concepts, use data to test assumptions, validate what works, and refine the approach. 2. Use data to identify opportunities, not just problems. Instead of looking at data only to fix what's wrong, use it to uncover new possibilities. If analytics show that a particular type of content gets high engagement, ask how you can creatively expand on that success rather than just repeating what's already working. 3. A/B testing as a creative playground. A/B testing isn't just about picking a winner, it's a chance to experiment. Run tests on different visuals, layouts, or messaging to explore what resonates most with users. This allows creativity to flourish while letting data guide improvements. 4. Encourage cross-team collaboration. Creative and data-driven teams often work separately, but bringing them together can lead to better outcomes. Designers, marketers, and analysts should regularly share insights and perspectives. When creativity meets data in discussions, the best solutions emerge. 5. Don't be afraid to take informed risks. While data helps reduce uncertainty, it shouldn't prevent experimentation. Some of the most successful innovations, whether in design, marketing, or product development, have come from teams willing to take calculated risks based on both creativity and insights. These strategies make it easier to ensure that neither data nor creativity dominates. But what happens when they seem to be in direct conflict? Let's talk about resolving those tensions. Curious about the latest UX trends? Sign up for our UX newsletter on LinkedIn. See the link in the description section of this episode. resolving conflicts between data and creativity. Sometimes data suggests one thing while creativity pushes in a different direction. When this happens, it's important to ask a few questions. Are we measuring the right things? Sometimes data might not fully capture the impact of a creative idea. If engagement numbers are low, but qualitative feedback is positive, it might indicate that a different metric should be considered. Can we test a compromise? Instead of abandoning a creative idea because data doesn't immediately support it, try testing a smaller version. A limited rollout or a prototype can help determine whether the idea has potential. Is there a long-term benefit that data isn't showing yet? Some creative decisions take time to show results. A bold rebrand or an unconventional campaign might not deliver instant numbers, but could build long-term brand loyalty. By addressing these questions, teams can navigate situations where creativity and data don't seem to align at first glance. Final thoughts. Creativity and data-driven decisions are not opposing forces. They are two sides of the same coin. Creativity sparks ideas, and data refines them. Data provides insights, and creativity brings those insights to life in meaningful ways. The most effective designers, marketers, and product teams don't choose one over the other. They integrate both. By using data as a guide rather than a constraint, questioning assumptions, and experimenting with solutions, it's possible to create experiences that are both innovative and effective. That's it for this episode of xploreUXCast. I hope this discussion has given you some practical ideas on how to balance creativity with data-driven decision-making. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share your thoughts with us. Until next time, keep designing, keep testing, and keep creating. Cheers, and have a good one.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.